Vikings Game Day Live is presented by Luther Auto and Mystic Lake.
Right side three. 1, 2, 3, 5. 20, 15, 10. Touchdown!
You're watching Vikings Game Day Live.
Good morning, everyone. The battle for the NFC North comes down to this: a showdown between the Lions and the Vikings at Ford Field in mid-December. Who would have thought? Hi, everybody. Welcome to Game Day Live. I'm Jim Rich from the TCO Performance Center with Ron Johnson. And Ron, this is Swag Sunday. And we're not talking about the suit you're wearing here. It's the swag the Vikings are going to want to wear after this game, getting that hat and T-shirt.
Yeah, we had TJ Hockenson with David Blau on the Audible, and that's the first thing him and David Blau talked about was, I want the Lions to win. They beat the Jets, but everybody's like, oh, I hope the Lions lose so the Vikings can clinch. Last week, they both, former Lions players, were like, no, we want the Lions to win. We root for the Lions on this one so we can beat them at home and then get to wear those T-shirts back on the plane. And, if TJ Hockenson has a big game, he told us on Audible, he's going to take the shirt off and wear the chains. Like, I want him to do the Hulk Hogan, rip the shirt open deal. And, I'm looking forward to that. I'm hoping he has a big one.
Well, let's hope that's what happens here this afternoon. It certainly doesn't get any clearer to clinch the North for the Vikings. As you said, they took care of business against the Jets last week, but Detroit stayed alive, beating the Jaguars very impressively, by the way. They scored on every possession. This week, it's this simple. The Vikings, all they need to do is beat the Lions, and the NFC North is theirs. At least one home playoff game also comes with it. Or if the game ends in a tie today, the Vikings get the division. Now, the Vikings are also still alive for that #1 seed, Ron, but they need some help. The Eagles are a game up right now, and they own the tiebreaker, of course, after that Week 2 victory. So there's a lot of things in play right now, but really all the Vikings have to do is focus on themselves.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, at this point, getting that #1 seed looks really tough. The Eagles look really good. The offense is moving well. Jalen Hurts is actually playing really well. That defense is ridiculous. And so, but the Cowboys are getting better. And so, and that's the thing. I think they can lose to the Cowboys, but they're going to need to find 2 losses for the Eagles, and then they have to win out. And those games they have are winnable because the Packers probably won't play Aaron Rodgers. The Bears most likely are going to be done, or not most likely, they're done. So who knows what they'll do with Justin Fields at that point. And then you do have a tough Giants team coming here, and then the Colts with Jeff Saturday on a Saturday. So, I don't know. It's there for the taking.
Yeah, the Giants do have a lot to play for yet. Yeah. All right, but first things first. As we said, the Vikings could clinch the North with a win today. They, of course, just have to take care of the Lions. But how they get that done, that's the question. Don Mitchell is live at Ford Field in Detroit. And, Don, what's the latest on this divisional showdown?
Yeah, good morning, Jim and Ron. Like you said, everyone getting set for this matchup because it means a lot. We just had TJ Hockenson out here saying hello to a lot of his former teammates, and all smiles, of course, as he returns for the first time to Detroit. But when it comes to the other guys on his field, the Vikings are getting a couple of players back. Cam Dantzler. And the question mark is on Christian Darrisaw. Will we see Christian? So when it comes to Cam Dantzler, he's very excited to be back. He was activated from injured reserve yesterday. He missed 4 games, as you know, with that ankle injury. So he now is back in time, and it's good timing with the Caleb Evans now on injured reserve after suffering his 3rd concussion. So we'll see how he handles being back and how much action he will see. As for Christian Darrisaw, my sources tell me that even though he was cleared from concussion protocol, the left tackle will not play today. The Vikings erring on the side of caution, thinking he'll need another week before he's back 100%. So doubtful to see Christian Darrisaw, even though he has been cleared from concussion protocol. So you get the players ready. You can just feel it in the air that this is already a playoff atmosphere, and we have not even become close to getting into game time mode. But all eyes are on the Vikings and the Lions today to see if indeed the battle will be won by the Vikings today. We'll send it back to you.
All right, thanks very much, Don. Yeah, a lot at stake. The thing we keep talking about is it's the Vikings. The Lions need this game to stay alive. If they lose, their season's over. So there's a lot at stake for them here.
Yeah, when you look at Dan Campbell, I mean, he did say this was a team he thought could be in the playoffs at the beginning of the season on Fox 9. I did say the Lions would finish second in the division. Everybody said I was crazy. Well, at this point, it's actually looking like I'm going to be right, hopefully, if the Lions can hold on. Not this game. Let's go ahead and lose this one. But if they can win a couple more, then, yeah, the Lions will finish second in the division. So my pick, and Fox 9, make sure you guys go back in the archives of the Week 1 game.
All right.
I need whoever's in that booth, find that week, and then we need to play that clip. Because I said the Lions will finish second, and Pete versus Dawn, everybody looked at me like, what?
They
ahead of the Packers?
that, right? They sailed
Nobody trusted the Lions but me, and the Lions. And early the Lions did suck, let's be real, but they've gotten a lot better since.
All right, let's take a look back before we get into this week. The Vikings survived another thriller. It should have been an easy one. They had a huge lead against the Jets. But the problems there for the Vikings were Kirk Cousins, which hasn't been a problem all year, Ron. He's been great, but in that game, 21 of 35, a lot of misses early. Then he got hot at the right time.
Yeah, and I looked at a couple plays, and I'm going to just stick with the key plays that I was going to do in my good, bad, and unbelievable segment. When you think about the good Kirk Cousins, it was just making the throws that he knew he could make. The bad, I don't know if it all was on Kirk Cousins. Like the miss to Justin Jefferson, I feel like one of those guys either was on the wrong page or something was off. The Adam Thielen, 2 corner routes, one right over his arms, one completely not even in his direction. Sauce Gardner might have been. So there's a lot of things that people don't understand with this offense in the slot. There's a lot of choice routes. And they're all still learning. This is the first year of this offense where they're understanding and learning and trusting the choice. And the choice route happens in a split second where the minute I see the coverage, I know what your choice should be, and you better take it. If the receiver does something different or the quarterback sees it different, it's going to look like that. And I think that was some of the misses was just the Jets and Sauce Gardner and those safeties, Whitehead, they did a great job of disguising and confusing the coverage of what Kirk Cousins saw and what the receiver saw post-snap. Pre-snap, here's your look. Post-snap, Sauce Gardner's right there. I can't throw it. And so I think that was a little bit of the Kirk Cousins struggles.
All right, the biggest deal of this game was the battle of the red zone. Yeah. Vikings were 3 for 3 in the red zone. The Jets 1 for 6. So even though that Vikings defense bent like we've never seen before, they stiffened up at the most critical time.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the stats, they 23 first downs for the Jets, 21 for the Vikings. So in your mind, you're like, man, did they kill it on third down? No. Third down, they were 3 for 16.
Yes.
Fourth down, they were 2 for 5. So it wasn't great. But red zone, I think that's and Kevin O'Connell balled that up. 1 for 6 in the red zone, 1 field goal. You gotta be able to say, you know what? We did our job. You had 2 fourth down stops. You had 2 big turnovers. I mean, that's the key to this defense is you have to be able to understand you could have a great defense, number 1 in the NFL, all this other stuff, or have a great run game like the Bears and not be in the play. Or just take your 10-2 team and understand, hey, there's going to be some growing pains with this defense. Ed Donatel's first year. Who knows if he's the long-term solution on defense. Okay. But I think in Kevin O'Connell's first year, it was a comfort hire, and it's somebody that can get the defense going. And that's where the defense is. Right. I think it was the most bending I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, you look at it, and really the big thing was that Jordan Hicks says they now call themselves the closers. Yeah. So they let things happen during the middle, but when it comes to crunch time, they know how to close games out, and they've been able to do that. All right, for more on this week's matchup, we go to the film room. Pete Bursich joined the Vikings head coach to break down some key plays from that victory over the Jets.
Welcome back to another edition of Film Room with Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell, brought to you by Twin Cities Orthopedics. And coach, it was a back and forth game, a lot of huge plays. I cannot wait to see which 3 you've chosen to discuss.
Yeah, we knew going into that game. I mean, really, when you look at the last 4 or 5 weeks or so, taking on top 10 defenses, kind of grinded out type games where it's never going to go perfectly throughout, but we always want to go into these games with the mindset of being balanced on offense to be able to have a chance to, win it in the end if we need to. Right here by Cam Bynum, I thought he had one of his best games of the year in this game. He made some really timely tackles showing up. But if you remember back, Pete, to when we showed Patrick Peterson's interception against the Bills, there was kind of a different concept. The Bills kind of ran almost like a double post type concept, which allowed Pat P to drive that thing and go ahead and end that game. This is going to be a little different because now what they're going to do is they're going to go underneath of EK right there, and it's going to essentially be just an in-breaking route. So the quarterback's going to think he might have a chance to squeeze this in. Can that receiver shave it across Cam Bynum's face, or can Cam step in front of that thing for the interception? You'll see it right there. underneath that hook player. So now you'll see Cam, look at him, look at his eyes. He's ready to still handle that route if it goes vertical right there. He knows he's got the veteran help on the backside in this kind of formation. And then just watch him drive this thing. Puts his foot in the ground, makes the play. Situational masters getting down for our 10th win right there. And when we look at it from the end zone, the attrition, a lot of snaps, but how about DJ Wanham making the rush here to go ahead and get to the quarterback on basically one hitch timing right here. He's going to take one hitch, two hitch, and then there's DJ showing up. So if that ball didn't come out when it did, forcing that quarterback to have to make a decision, DJ is going to get the sack in a critical moment right there. So bend but don't break, but critical plays there down in the low red. Our defense is now only one touchdown between the Patriots and the Jets over 9 red zone trips. That's winning football no matter how many yards you end up giving up.
Yeah, the quarterback sees that tight window, but that window shrinks when you've got defensive back climbing on you.
No doubt, no doubt.
All right, thanks, Coach. We appreciate it. We will see you next week with another edition of Vikings Film Room.
We are just getting started here on Vikings Game Day Live. Tight end TJ Hawkinson going back to face his old team just 6 weeks after being dealt. And of course, we will take a look at the Lions. They've been playing tough lately. Their record is not what they're putting on the field right now. How it's paying off and what the Vikings have to do to slow them down. That's all still to come here on Fox 9.
Winter is here, and we're here for you. On air.
And on Fox9.com.
On the Fox 9 weather app.
And on the Fox 9 YouTube channel.
Winter's here, and we're everywhere for you.
Hi, I'm Amy Hockert. I have just 10 seconds to tell you about a real time saver. It's Fox 9's 10 at 10. We bring you the day's top 10 stories in the first 10 minutes.
More is better, and Fox 9 now has more. More streaming, more local stories, more shows, and, well, more. Go ahead, try it out, and discover more on the Fox 9 News app and at fox9.com. Download the Fox 9 News app in your app store simply by scanning this QR code, and you can watch our shows anywhere, anytime.
Glad you're starting your work week with us here on Fox 9 Morning News. Good to see you. I'm Tom Butler.
And I'm Alex Kendall. Hope your morning is good.
Download the Fox 9 News app in your app store or by scanning this QR code. We'll give you some time to scan and check it out.
Thank you, thank you. Everything's better with an audience.
Mr. Big, it's bath time. Oh, Biggie, good boy. And Han says, I can't eat it, it's chewy.
Everything is better with an audience. Watch The Jason Show, weekdays at 10 on Fox 9.
Want better brain health? Try these foods. Researchers say the best brain foods include green leafy veggies, fatty fish thanks to their omega-3 fatty acids, berries packed with fights, tea and coffee, and even walnuts, consumption of which has been shown to lead to higher memory on test scores. I'm Steve Noviello. That's my 2 cents. Spend it wisely.
Hey, it's Dr. Mike. The United States Preventive Service Task Force has come out with new guidelines that recommend your primary care provider screen you for anxiety. Now listen, folks, if you have anxiety, you can't sleep, you're drinking too much, you need to get help, and there is help available. I'm Dr. Mike Sirigliano with the Fox Medical Team.
This is our home.
He has collaboration, communication, culture.
Our turf. This is our family. Our tradition.
This is how we do it every game day.
Whether suspense or celebration, this is what ties us together. Because this is our team. And this is our home. Fox 9 is your official home of the Minnesota Vikings.
Everyone loves a nice holiday card. Send us one of yours before Christmas Eve, and we'll send you one of ours in return. Happy holidays from Fox 9.
I'm Heather Sullivan.
Welcome back to Vikings Game Day Live, presented by Luther Auto and Mystic Lake.
I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to be on this side of it, and listen, it's one of those things. You know, I wasn't the one that left. You know, it was definitely a different option. So it'll be cool to go back. I'm excited to be in purple when I'm back there. So and we're just looking forward to clinch this thing.
Welcome back to Vikings Game Day Live. Jim Rich along with former wide receiver Ron Johnson. And this week, a lot of attention is on TJ Hockenson as he faces his former team. It's got to be strange for him because, as he said, he left there on good terms. So it's not that animosity driving him that, you know, oh, they didn't want me anymore. I mean, granted, they did trade him, but he left there with a smile on his face.
Yeah, and I think the Lions did what was best for TJ. He wanted big money, and the Lions weren't willing to offer it to him. So they were like, you know what, let's cut our ties now because we know we can't offer him what he wants in a year or two. And so they also got some picks from the Vikings for that. But TJ Hockenson, I think the biggest key coming back to Detroit is he's going to have to calm his nerves. When you're back home and you're playing against a team you played against, like Kirk Cousins kind of against the Washington Commanders, you got to calm down and just say, you know what, this is just another game. I know it feels a little bit different. It's special. I grew up here. I became a man here. But yeah, no, it should be a fun one for him. He knows those guys, but that's the key too. He knows those guys. He's practiced against those guys.
Yes.
So that's where he'll have a little bit of an edge. When he gets man coverage, he knows what some of the linebackers can do and can't do. He knows what some of those safeties can and can't do. So I'm looking forward to actually seeing that too. Like, what does that one-on-one, if he ever gets single coverage, look like with TJ Hockenson?
Yeah, it's been so amazing what he's been able to do. He's got 30 catches. 8 of those have been for first downs on either a third down or a fourth down situation. So that shows that the Vikings trust in him already.
Yeah, and they trusted him, and he's smart. You know, I would never say that about an Iowa Hawkeye, but, you know, I told him to his face, him, Chad Greenway, there's only a few that I respect. But, you know, as an Iowa Hawkeye, he's smart. I mean, look at George Kittle, another tight end from Iowa. Like, those guys are smart, and they've learned a ton from Kirk Ferentz in Iowa. And so, because I asked, I was like, are they tagging you as a Y, or are you trying to learn this offense just as a whole? And he's like, I'm learning the offense. Like, I told him, I don't want you to have to tag me every single time. He does get some tags, but he's like, no, I want to learn this offense so that I can line up outside. I can line up in the slot. I can line up in the bunch. I don't want you to have to always tag me.
Right.
And so I think that's the key, too. It's not just the trust in them and him, but it's him in this offense. Like, hey, Kevin O'Connell, let me know. And then having David Blau, I think that's huge, too.
Yes.
Former Lion,
Yes.
his teammate. They can help each other with verbiage. Like, hey, left means right because it meant this in Detroit, but here in Minnesota it means this. I think that helped TJ Hockenson, too, in that quick turnaround. And now, you know, what, like 6 weeks out? So, yeah, he's doing a good job.
All right, as Hockenson faces his old team, we decided to sit down with him to talk about what this whole situation is like. Tatum Everett is live at Ford Field with more on TJ's return to the Motor City. Good morning, Tatum.
Good morning, you guys. You mentioned that they've got a lot going on right now, and TJ Hockenson has been a busy man on this sideline. He was one of the first guys out here. He's already gotten hugs from numerous players, including his former quarterback, Jared Goff. But he's been able to, as you guys just talked about, assimilate himself, make an easy transition into this offense. It's been quite remarkable, and I was able to sit down and talk to him a little bit more about that and how well he fits into this Vikings locker room.
And we have a big one. The Detroit Lions are trading TJ Hockenson to the Minnesota Vikings from Adam Schefter per sources.
TJ Hockenson goes from the Lions to the Vikings.
That's a great move.
TJ Hockenson averages 15 yards a catch in a run-first offense.
Throws to the end zone. Touchdown! Great call. TJ Hockenson.
Hey, TJ.
How's it going?
Good.
Good. Good.
All right, TJ, this week marks 5 weeks since being traded to the Vikings. Looking back at it, I'm wondering, do you feel like you've been here for a really long time, or does it still feel like you just got here?
I would say in different spectrums, there's a little bit of both. I think in knowing the guys, I feel like I've been here for a long time, just being in that locker room. There's still a few things where I'm like, man, that's feels like I just got here the other day, but it's been great. I've had so much fun.
And now you get to return to Detroit, which is where you spent your first 3.5 seasons. What is going through your mind this week?
It's going to be truly special. There's a lot of people that I know there. I've played in that stadium a lot, and so just to be there on a different sideline, going through a different tunnel, it's going to be fun. So, and we have a chance to do something special here too. So, very, very excited for that.
Yeah, you mentioned playing for a lot this weekend. You can clinch the division in Detroit, your former team. What does that mean to you?
You don't get that very often, in this league. I've been in it for 4 years now, and this is the first time in my career that I've, been able to be a part of something like this, and then, being able to have an opportunity to clinch the division and then secure a spot in the playoffs and at least secure one home game, and be back in front of these fans here. So truly a special thing for me. It's funny how everything aligns like that, and it's just going to be a blast to go over there and do what we do.
When you got here, obviously you're learning all of this new stuff, right? How much of an asset was Kirk, and what was he like in welcoming you to the team?
I can't say enough good things about Kirk. Just one of those guys that truly is a leader.
Hey, where you go? I gotta go out.
Helps you in any way he can, and just a guy that, you just want to be close to, and, someone that is really good at, building that relationship. So it's been great to be here with Kirk. Great to be on the field with him because, he does have that trust factor.
Here we go, efficient, explosive all game long, man. Let's go, win on 3, 1, 2, 3, win.
What is something that surprised you about him as a quarterback, now that you're on this side of things?
Just his personality, he's funny. He really is. Just some of the stuff he does and some of the stuff he says cracks me up. So, I just love hearing what he has to say.
I think people don't realize that the post-game celebration that he's now infamous for, the shirtless Kirko chains, happened on your first game celebration. So you're on the team playing and you're thinking, what is going on around me? What were you thinking?
I was just like, this is incredible. I've never been a part of anything like that. So just to see all the chains around him and him going like this, it was just, it was such a blast, I just, not used to plane rides like that, so it was a blast for sure.
Now, I've heard the rumor that there is a potential if the Vikings pull off the victory on Sunday, that this tradition, which now has gone through Patrick Peterson, could potentially end up in your lap.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to get ready for that. Would you be
down for it?
I don't know. We'll see. That'd be fun for sure, but I don't know. I don't know if my neck can hold that many chains. I might be way down. So.
Well, I've talked to several players about this particular locker room, and they say words like special, the chemistry, the trust that you guys have within each other.
I believe this guy can make game-changing plays and fit right in with our offense when we're rolling. TJ Hockenson.
As someone that walked into that situation, what was your observation about this group?
It truly is a special place. I haven't been a part of a locker room. I've had really good friends in locker rooms, don't get me wrong.
That's what it's about, boy.
But, when guys from every single part of the locker room come and talk to you and are really close-knit and, they're playing games in there, they're just having fun. There's a lot of laughs. There's, hey, let's go watch this. Let's go do this. Mm-hmm. It truly is special. You don't get that everywhere. You don't get guys like Adam Thielen who, you walk in, he wants to know where you're from, what you do, how you do it.
And if he comes, I'll take care.
It is incredible to be a part of a locker room like this and to be able to talk to everyone in that locker room and really have a special bond with them is cool.
I know TJ joked about walking out the wrong side of the locker room or the wrong tunnel, but it's no joke. You can actually get lost here because there is a direct feed from the Vikings visitor locker room into the Lions part of the tunnel. So hopefully TJ won't make that mistake today, but I know the Vikings are really excited to have him on their side in this battle for the NFC North division right now because as sure you guys have touched on plenty of times already in this broadcast, win and you are North champions. So good luck to them today, but I'm sure it's going to be a real emotional time for TJ.
Oh, yeah, he's got a lot of things on his mind, Ron, because he's can go back and show them, hey, you made a mistake. Boom, I can help my new teammates get some swag. So they got all of this going on. But now it's time for the Fox Bet Super 6 Sunday Challenge. Download and play to win Terry Bradshaw's money. Let's take a look at a couple of games in this week's Super 6. And let's start one with the Viking fans are very interested in. The Eagles and the Giants. What do you see here?
I hate to say it, but I got to go Eagles +8. Like, the Eagles' defense is just like they are +8. Their defense is so good. And what Daniel Jones doesn't do well is throw the ball on 3rd and long. And that's what this defense does. So I'm going to go Eagles +8.
All right. Buccaneers, 49ers. It's the old man versus the new kid. Both have looked good. Brady with that comeback.
Yeah, and Tom Brady is up in the air of what he's going to do next year. Says he does want to play, but doesn't know where. He could end up a 49er for all we know, because the 49ers probably would go all in for one season with Tom Brady and Christian McCaffrey and all those guys. But I'm going to go 49ers +7. Their defense right now is playing well, and their offense seems like they're starting to get it, even though they don't know who their quarterback is half the time. But they're going to get it. Brock Purdy might get it done today.
Yeah, well, and you got McCaffrey, so that's pretty much all you need on offense. All right, visit the App Store, download the Fox Bet app, and you can play at home to win real cash. All right, coming up here on Vikings Game Day Live, they are not the same Lions that the Vikings beat earlier this season, and that wasn't easy. You remember how crazy that was, how they have changed, and how competitive they're going to be today. Let's go back to
Vikings fans in the building.
Oh. Winter is here, and we're here for you. On air.
And on Fox9.com.
On the Fox 9 weather app.
And on the Fox 9 YouTube channel.
Winter's here, and we're everywhere for you.
Hi, I'm Amy Hockert. I have just 10 seconds to tell you about a real time saver. It's Fox 9's 10 at 10. We bring you the day's top 10 stories in the first 10 minutes.
More is better, and Fox 9 now has more. More streaming, more local stories, more shows, and, well, more. Go ahead, try it out, and discover more on the Fox 9 News app and at fox9.com. Download the Fox 9 News app in your app store simply by scanning this QR code, and you can watch our shows anywhere, anytime.
Glad you're starting your work week with us here on the Fox 9 Morning News. Good to see you. I'm Tom Butler.
And I'm Alex Kendall. Hope your morning is good.
Download the Fox 9 News app in your app store or by scanning this QR code. We'll give you some time to scan and check it out.
Thank you. Thank you. Everything's better with an audience.
Mr. Big, it's bath time. Oh, Biggie, good boy.
And Han says, I can't eat it. It's chewy.
Everything is better with an audience. Watch The Jason Show, weekdays at 10 on Fox 9.
Want better brain health? Try these foods. Researchers say the best brain foods include green leafy veggies, fatty fish thanks to their omega-3 fatty acids, berries packed with flavors, tea and coffee, and even walnuts, consumption of which has been shown to lead to higher memory on test scores. I'm Steve Noviello. That's my 2 cents. Spend it wisely.
Hey, it's Dr. Mike. The United States Preventive Service Task Force has come out with new guidelines that recommend your primary care provider screen you for anxiety. Now listen, folks, if you have anxiety, you can't sleep, you're drinking too much, you need to get help, and there is help available. I'm Dr. Mike Sirigliano with the Fox Medical Team.
This is our home,
He has collaboration, communication, culture.
our turf. This is our family, our tradition.
This is how we do it every game day.
Whether suspense or celebration, this is what ties us together. Because this is our team, and this this is our home. Fox 9 is your official home of the Minnesota Vikings.
Everyone loves a nice holiday card. Send us one of yours before Christmas Eve, and we'll send you one of ours in return. Happy holidays from Fox 9.
I'm Heather Sullivan with Sullivan Smart Sense. Is all this inflation keeping you from enjoying eating out? You could save up to 35% on food and up to 20% on drinks.
You're watching Vikings Game Day Live, presented by Luther Auto and Mystic Lake.
Welcome back to Vikings Game Day Live. Jim Rich along with Ron Johnson and Justin Jefferson. His worst game ever came against the Detroit Lions. So he'll be looking for some different results today. Let's go back out to Ford Field. Don Mitchell is on the field with some of the latest highlights and headlines of this game. Don?
You know what, Jim, you just brought it up. Well, TJ may not have a revenge game in mind. JJ certainly does. Justin Jefferson, he's out here, he's all smiles, but trust me, he is all business inside. He said that game last time out is emblazoned in his mind. It is fresh. He remembers it. He was limited to 3 catches on 14 yards, and he wants to change that narrative today. We all know he's third in receptions with 88, second in receiving yards with 1,277, but when he was limited to just 14 yards, that does not sit well with number 18. Now, last time, what did the Lions do to shut him down? Well, they had cornerback Jeff Okudah on him, plus they had safety help over the top to limit him. So it'll be interesting to see how Kevin O'Connell and the coaching staff do and change and move him around, get him in motion to try to get him open today. Now the defense, most likely for the Lions, will try to do the same, be too deep, man coverage type of stuff, because it works so well. But if you remember, that was also just the third game of the season, and instead of being frustrated, they just went to work to figure out how to get JJ open. So hopefully they have come up with some really good planning, and plus Justin Jefferson has shown in subsequent games after that that he can indeed get open. If he's in traffic or if it's a man-on-man and it's just a single high, he's going to bring the ball down. So we will indeed see if Justin Jefferson can get his revenge game in here in Lions territory. We'll send it back to you.
All right, thanks very much. I'd bet on JJ to figure it out. I think he could find a way to get himself open a few times today.
Yeah, and it's not just up to him, it's up to Kevin O'Connell, and this is what Kevin O'Connell is great at. Justin Jefferson against the Lions had a bad game, next game killed it. He had a bad game against the Eagles, next game killed it. So every time he's kind of like Kevin O'Connell didn't get him in the game plan as much as he thought he should, the very next game he followed up. Now last week he did have a touchdown, but only had 45 yards. So I feel like this is one of those games Kevin O'Connell is sitting in his little den, with his little newborn daughter, because she's up all night, letting the wife sleep. He's sitting up there drawing JJ play. People's like, oh, he's over there probably cuckooing and hugging his. No, he's got the daughter like in one arm, he's a pro, in another arm, he's got the tablet, and he's like, how do I get JJ involved more? And so I know this is one of those weeks where he's going to try to make sure he gets JJ involved. But this is the thing. 15-plus yard plays. Justin Jefferson's third in the NFL for receivers. The other two guys, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams. When you talk about the best of the best of explosive plays, Justin Jefferson's right up there, and he's had 2 bad games. So that just tells you how good he really is.
Oh, no doubt about it. The Lions, though, they also have some outside forces. St. Brown has been great for them. He was good in that Week 3 matchup at US Bank Stadium.
Yeah, Myron St. Brown, too. What he does is he's another guy that he takes things personal, and he looks at all the teams that drafted receivers in front of him, and he continues to point that out whenever he's playing in a stadium. He's like, oh, wait, that guy was drafted ahead of me. Oh, wait, that guy was drafted. So this is a guy that plays with a chip on his shoulder, as P.J. Fleck would say, and that's his type of guy. But you look at his stats, 76 catches, 830 yards, and 6 touchdowns. But what Jared Goff was getting out of him was consistency.
Right.
That was the other key. There was no consistency early, and I don't know if that was because the defense couldn't get off the field, because early in the season they weren't. Well, now you're seeing prolonged drives. You're seeing more dedicated plays. You're seeing the offense really work well together, and Jared Goff figuring this out. Everybody thought Sean McVay made Jared Goff good, and he did. But what Dan Campbell has done is explain to Jared Goff, hey, This is how you read the progressions. This is when you progress. And then if you have a matchup like Kirk Cousins does with JJ, take it. If I got a Myron St. Brown one-on-one, take it. And I think that's where Jared Goff has gotten better. Because with the Rams, it was like Sean McVay talked to him with until 15 seconds in his helmet. He was helping him out. He was spoon feeding him. Now he's having to feed himself. So he's gone from like the infant toddler to now he's kind of like a teenager. So, he's doing a good job.
All right, if the Lions keep the ball on the ground, they've got a two-headed attack. And DeAndre Swift really is starting to emerge again. He leads the NFL in rushing touchdowns.
Yeah, and the Lions starts with Frank Ragnow. I mean, you think about a guy that played with a broken throat at one point, hurt ankles and elbows and all that stuff. I see his sister at the gym all the time, and that's all she talks about is how tough Frankie is. It starts with him. It starts with Frank Ragnow up front, and that's why the run game is so good. When they get that double team, and that's why Tomlinson and the guys up front and the two linebackers, when you look at Kendricks and Hicks, they are going to have to watch that. Because if there's a double team, you've got to go now, because their thought is double team Dalvin Tomlinson and then get to that linebacker. The minute you feel that double team, shoot your gap, trust your eyes, and don't fall for the other stuff. But the Lions do run the jet sweep, so those running backs are good. And so that's why it has to be a team effort today. And hopefully the Vikings defense can do just enough to keep Kirk Cousins on the field a little bit longer, because that's what it's going to be. I think it's going to be a shootout today. I think it's going to be one of those games where whoever defense can get off the field sooner is going to help their offense win this game.
Yeah, both these defenses have had their issues this year. Time now to look at the inactives. This just coming out, and there are some big names that will miss this game for the Vikings. Harrison Smith with a neck injury. He is out. Garrett Bradbury, the center, that seems to be a bit of a surprise. He's gone. Christian Darrisaw, we kind of thought that was going to be an issue. So these are some big names that will not be available for the Vikings today.
Yeah, well, I said that. A source had said it earlier, I think last night, that Christian Darrisaw wasn't going to play. Blake Brandel was going to start. Blake Brandel's been doing well, but Aiden Hutchinson is a beast. And so they're going to have to give him help. They're going to have to chip with the running backs. They're going to have TJ Hawkinson's going to have to do a little chip in the ribs and then get out to his routes, because Blake Brandel one-on-one with Aiden Hutchinson, I don't want that matchup. When you look at Bradbury, and then you and I talked about this off camera, the good thing is Ezra Cleveland is standing up at guard, making a lot of those calls and looking back and helping the quarterback out, kind of making sure the defensive line is set. So when you plug another center in, I think it's Schlottman is going to be the starting center today. He's done a good job because he doesn't have a ton on his plate. They put that on a veteran guard in Ezra Cleveland. So I think that should be okay as well.
All right.
The Harrison Smith one, you mentioned this too.
Josh Metellus gets the start.
He started last time against the Lions, so they're like, we beat the Lions last time with Josh. Let's do it again with Josh.
Yeah, he had the big pick at the end with 5 seconds left to seal it for the Vikings. All right, for more on what these inactives mean and just the whole day, let's go back out to Ford Field and look at this superstar combination we have. Ben Lever and Pete Bursich there at Ford Field. Gentlemen?
Jim, it's good to talk to you down the line. This is the real superstar right here. He's the one that takes the cake. All right, as I bring in Pete Bursich. Pete, I know this is kind of a weird question because week 3 seems like an eternity ago, right? But both teams have improved. They've gotten better. What's one area where each team has gotten better since week 3?
I think Detroit offensively has gotten a lot better. They're much more efficient. They had 8 scoring drives last week. All 8 drives. They had one, the last drive they took a knee, averaging 9.5 plays a drive and only 1 penalty. They're a very efficient offense, and that's their consistency. For the Vikings, I think offensively we've mastered a little bit of the short passing game. I think that Cousins has made, especially against New England, he's really made some good decisions. So I think both teams offensively have improved. Defensively, it's still hit or miss.
Yeah. Well, you talk about the short passing game for this Vikings offense, and the first game, again, back in week 3, they really bottled up Justin Jefferson. They did a really good job of not giving him a lot of space to work, but we figured it out, and we adjusted in the second half. Tight ends ended up with 10 targets collectively between the tight ends. KJ and Adam Thielen each had 8 targets. Is pass just distribution kind of the number one key for our offense this week?
Yeah, I think so. It's definitely going to be the thing with this Detroit Lions defense is they throw the book at you. They go 5-man fronts, 3-man fronts. They do everything. Blitz. So they're just trying to make something happen. So you have to be good up front, and then you can make them pay for it. But there's no question, Okudah, he's a special player, and wherever he's going to be, it's going to be hard to go that way. So, yeah, your KJ Osborne. KJ's best game was against Detroit in his career. So, yeah, those number 2 and number 3 receivers. And, oh, by the way, Hawkinson is back in the building. I know that's a PA thing. You know, you love to, come back and put it to the old team, but I think he's going to have a big day today.
All right, last one for me is our defense, our pass rush. It has been hit or miss. We've had some games where we've really gotten after the passer, really been disruptive, but as of late, not so much. How do we get back to that pressure, to that disruption of the quarterback?
You know, you look at our defense, we're not impressive from a yard standpoint. What we are impressive with are the turnovers and the sacks. This is an efficient offense. You've got to do a great job on 1st and 2nd down and get them to 3rd and 7+. If we can get Detroit 3rd and 7+ a couple times a drive, that's our opportunity to blitz. That's our opportunity to get after the quarterback. And Goff has done a great job, but he will throw interceptions. So if we just let these guys dink and dunk and it's 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3 all day long, it's going to be a long day.
Yeah, and you talk about the efficiency on their offense. They do get the ball out pretty quick, and Goff's been very decisive. If we can just disrupt them just a little bit at the line of scrimmage, I think that'll be key too.
Yeah, they're very athletic. They get the ball out. It's quick rhythm. They have a very, very solid offense. Our offense just has to put the pedal to the metal and outscore them.
Yeah,
it'll be a barn burner.
It's going to be a fun one, Jim. Listen, this is like the most active I think I've seen Ford Field, at least when we've been here. The crowd is already starting to fill in. The energy definitely feels like a true regular season game where it's meaningful in December. So
it's Jim Rich Day in Detroit.
Yes.
I can't wait for this game to start.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, to say the least. You guys look so good together. I mean, we should just stay on that shot for a lot longer and admire
Lieber
Pete's
is
outfit.
Like Twin Cities top 100 business
Yes,
guy.
yes.
I mean, he's the Edina family of the year. I mean, man.
Cut away.
All right, gentlemen, thanks. We'll look forward to your work on the radio broadcast coming up in a little bit. All right, Ron, we got to take a break. Straight ahead, though, this is classic. Harrison Phillips. He crashes a photo shoot. Plus, Don Mitchell and Gabe Henderson, they return with the Vikings winning formula. All that to come here on Vikings Game Day Live.
Winter is here, and we're here for you. On air.
And on Fox9.com.
On the Fox 9 weather app.
And on the Fox 9 YouTube channel.
Winter's here, and we're everywhere for you.
Hi, I'm Amy Hockert. I have just 10 seconds to tell you about a real time saver. It's Fox 9's 10 at 10. We bring you the day's top 10 stories in the first 10 minutes.
More is better, and Fox 9 now has more. More streaming, more local stories, more shows, and, well, more. Go ahead, try it out, and discover more on the Fox 9 News app and at fox9.com. Download the Fox 9 News app in your app store simply by scanning this QR code, and you can watch our shows anywhere, anytime.
Glad you're starting your work week with us here on the Fox 9 Morning News. Good to see you. I'm Tom Butler.
And I'm Alex Kendall. Hope your morning is good.
Download the Fox 9 News app in your app store or by scanning this QR code. We'll give you some time to scan and check it out.
Thank you. Everything's better with an audience.
Mr. Big, it's bath time. Oh, Biggie, good boy. And Han says, I can't eat it, it's chewy.
Everything is better with an audience. Watch The Jason Show, weekdays at 10 on Fox 9.
Want better brain health? Try these foods. Researchers say the best brain foods include green leafy veggies, fatty fish thanks to their omega-3 fatty acids, berries packed with flavors, tea and coffee, and even walnuts, consumption of which has been shown to lead to higher memory on test scores. I'm Steve Noviello. That's my 2 cents. Spend it wisely.
Hey, it's Dr. Mike. The United States Preventive Service Task Force has come out with new guidelines that recommend your primary care provider screen you for anxiety. Now listen, folks, if you have anxiety, you can't sleep, you're drinking too much, you need to get help, and there is help available. I'm Dr. Mike Sirigliano with the Fox Medical Team.
This is our home.
He has collaboration, communication, culture.
Our turf. This is our family. Our tradition.
This is how we do it every game day.
Whether suspense or celebration, this is what ties us together. Because this is our team. And this is our home. Fox 9 is your official home of the Minnesota Vikings.
Everyone loves a nice holiday card. Send us one of yours before Christmas Eve, and we'll send you one of ours in return. Happy holidays from Fox 9.
I'm Heather Sullivan with Sullivan Smart Sense. Is all this inflation keeping you from enjoying eating out? You could save up to 35% on food and up to 20% on drinks.
This is Vikings Game Day Live, presented by Luther Auto and Mystic Lake.
Well, this is what happens when Vikings defensive lineman Harrison Phillips jumps into a family taking pictures. Now, he saw them getting their pictures taken, and they had Vikings gear on, so he thought it was safe to approach them, and he actually asked them if they wanted him in his photo shoot. And, of course, the big guy jumped right in there, and he certainly fills up the frame, doesn't he?
The best, though, is the daughter that's looking up like, who in the heck is this guy, and why is he standing by? Like, Dad, who is this guy? Like, that is the best, because she's looking up like, I don't trust him.
No, no. If you're lining up against him on a Sunday, you do not want to trust him. He is a giant human being. All right, let's go back out to Ford Field. Dawn Mitchell rejoins us, and she has Gabe Henderson with her now, and they will present our winning formula for the day. Don, Gabe, take it away.
Well, thank you, Jim. You know, the winning formula is going to be a tough one, especially since Harrison Smith has been ruled out of this game. You want to play complementary defense, but now how do you fill the shoes of Harry? You really can't. You just have to try your best.
You have to try your best, but I think a guy who is ready to put his best foot forward is Josh Metellus. And he started the last time the Vikings played the Detroit Lions at US Bank Stadium. So Josh Metellus has been ready for this opportunity since week 3. We've seen it happen before, but when it comes to playing complementary, our pass rush and our passing coverage has to marry up. And to do that, you have to play press man against this Detroit Lions offense. And this Detroit Lions offense, Amon-Ra St. Brown, whenever you press him, he's not the Amon-Ra St. Brown that we all know. But when he has space, that's when he's able to do damage. So change up your coverages, but also get pressure in Jared Goff's face.
And try to take the offense out of the game early in terms of that. Meanwhile, for the Vikings offense, we all know that Justin Jefferson is not happy about what happened last time. And they're going to corner him and cover him any way they can. So the running game has got to be on par today.
Absolutely. And I think the magic number is 25. 25 carries for Dalvin Cook today. The Vikings are 10-1 when Dalvin Cook rushes the ball 25 or more times in a game in his career. So run the ball effectively. This Detroit Lions defense has given up over 5 yards per carry, and I think that bodes well for Mr. Dalvin Cook, who also is only 141 yards away from breaking Chuck Foreman's record as far as being third all-time in franchise history in rushing yards. So run the ball effectively. That's when you can open up opportunities for Justin Jefferson to get the ball down the field, make some plays, but got to run the ball first.
And another key thing is you can tell the quality of a team and how they're feeling by if they're loose. Justin's just out here. He's dancing away. He's kind of loose. They can't overthink this game. They've got to be true to themselves and not get uptight like we have to win the North.
Right. Speaking of pregame, I saw TJ Hockenson. You know, it's his homecoming. And I saw him walking out of the tunnel with his headphones on, and I'm like, dude, why do you have your headphones on right now? Everybody's going to try to dap you up, try to shake hands, and it got to a point where he just took his headphones off, and it's like, you know what? This is just another game. That's the way this Minnesota Vikings team needs to look at this game. It's like, okay, we want to put on our big hats. We want to have fun, post-game clinch the North, but at the same time, look at this Detroit Lions team. It's just another team that we need to beat in order to get to our ultimate goal. Don't overthink this thing. It's just football at the end of the day, and let's have some fun and hopefully come out victorious.
Yeah, play smart, be yourself, and come up with the big plays we need.
Absolutely,
right?
absolutely.
All right, that's our winning formula, Jim. He said this is not Lions blue.
No, it's Carolina blue. I'm from North
Blue.
Carolina.
We're
It's
being
Carolina
clear
blue.
on that.
Yeah. All right, thanks very much, guys.
Looks like seersucker to me that Gabe has on, but coming up next, my favorite segment, that's Sink or Sail. I know my neighbor, Jose, he's going to be watching this one. Coming up next on Fox 9.
Winter is here, and we're here for you. On air.
And on Fox9.com.
On the Fox 9 weather app.
And on the Fox 9 YouTube channel.
Winter's here, and we're everywhere for you.
Hi, I'm Amy Hockert. I have just 10 seconds to tell you about a real time saver. It's Fox 9's 10 at 10. We bring you the day's top 10 stories in the first 10 minutes.
More is better, and Fox 9 now has more. More streaming, more local stories, more shows, and, well, more. Go ahead, try it out, and discover more on the Fox 9 News app and at fox9.com. Download the Fox 9 News app in your app store simply by scanning this QR code, and you can watch our shows anywhere, anytime.
Glad you're starting your work week with us here on the Fox 9 Morning News. Good to see you. I'm Tom Butler.
And I'm Alex Kendall. Hope your morning is good.
Download the Fox 9 News app in your app store or by scanning this QR code. We'll give you some time to scan and check it out.
Thank you. Everything's better with an audience.
Mr. Big, it's bath time. Oh, Biggie, good boy. And Han says, I can't eat it, it's chewy.
Everything is better with an audience. Watch The Jason Show, weekdays at 10 on Fox 9.
Want better brain health? Try these foods. Researchers say the best brain foods include green leafy veggies, fatty fish thanks to their omega-3 fatty acids, berries packed with flavors, tea and coffee, and even walnuts, consumption of which has been shown to lead to higher memory on test scores. I'm Steve Noviello. That's my 2 cents. Spend it wisely.
Hey, it's Dr. Mike. The United States Preventive Service Task Force has come out with new guidelines that recommend your primary care provider screen you for anxiety. Now listen, folks, if you have anxiety, you can't sleep, you're drinking too much, you need to get help, and there is help available. I'm Dr. Mike Sirigliano with the Fox Medical Team.
This is our home,
He has collaboration, communication, culture.
our turf. This is our family, our tradition.
This is how we do it every game day.
Whether suspense or celebration, this is what ties us together. Because this is our team, and this is our home. Fox 9 is your official home of the Minnesota Vikings.
Everyone loves a nice holiday card. Send us one of yours before Christmas Eve, and we'll send you one of ours in return. Happy holidays from Fox 9.
I'm Heather Sullivan with Sullivan Smart Sense. Is all this inflation keeping you from enjoying eating out? You could save up to 35% on food and up to 20% on drinks.
This is Vikings Game Day Live, presented by Luther Auto and Mystic Lake.
Welcome back to Vikings Game Day Live. Jim Rich along with Ron Johnson. Time for his favorite segment, Sink or Sail, and we bring in 2 more panelists out at Ford Field, Don Mitchell, Ben Lieber. All right, here's the first subject. We'll start with Don so everybody gets a shot at this. Vikings getting dissed this week by the odds makers. They were not the favorites in this game. Do you agree with that, Don? Sink or sail that the Vikings should have been favorites?
You know, I'm sailing that they should have been favorites. I'm sinking Vegas, and I am not a good Vegas odds person at all. And I know that they're just going on stats, but come on.
You know what? I'm going to sail it. I actually think they got it right.
Really?
You know, we have been wildly inconsistent. Their defense is actually playing much better these last 5 games. Their offense is much more efficient, and they're playing at home. So, look, I think they got it right.
You can't put a stat on Hart, Ben. You can't put a stat on
I don't know if I should sink or sail it.
We're going to win the game regardless.
They both, I don't know. So, Ben, I'm going to agree with Ben. I think they should not be favorites. I agree because of the points. The Lions have put up 26.3 points per game, and the Vikings only 24. So I think Vegas got it right with just the points.
All right. Now, TJ Hawkinson, everybody's talked about him. Everybody's chipped in their 2 cents. Does he score a touchdown today? We'll start with you, Ron.
Yes, I have to because I picked him as my guy, so he has to score today.
There you go. Ben, what do you think?
I'm going to sail it as well. Look, he had a touchdown for the Lions in week 3 on a little bootleg play down by the goal line. I think we're going to have a very similar situation on a bootleg pass touchdown TJ Hockenson.
I'm going to go with Ben on the bootleg, but I'm just saying, in addition to that, you just know that Kevin O'Connell is just going to game plan to have him do that, just kind of sweet retribution. So I'm saying yes on many different levels.
All right, Don, right back to you. Vikings clinch today. Sink or sail? Is it over?
You know, I'm sailing it. And I know people are saying, okay, the Lions are surging, this and that. The Vikings come up in big plays. They know what it means. And I think that they'll surprise the Lions today.
Yeah, I'm going to sail it. I think they're going to win. I think Vegas got it right that the Lions should be favored, but that still means that we're going to go out and win this game. So some underdog bettors are going to win some money today, and the Vikings are going to take home the title.
Sail.
There it is, the sail. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thanks, Don. Thanks, Ben. Thanks, Ron. We'll see you next Sunday.
Winter is here, and we're here for you. On air.
And on Fox9.com.
On the Fox 9 weather app.
And on the Fox 9 YouTube channel.
Winter's here, and we're everywhere for you.
Hi, I'm Amy Hockert. I have just 10 seconds to tell you about a real time saver. It's Fox 9's 10 at 10. We bring you the day's top 10 stories in the first 10 minutes.
More is better, and Fox 9 now has more. More streaming, more local stories, more shows, and, well, more. Go ahead, try it out, and discover more on the Fox 9 News app and at fox9.com. Download the Fox 9 News app in your app